Rosario.
Hello, hello. How are you?
I'm good. I am excited because it hasn't, this looks like it's going to be a good run today.
It's Tuesday. Yes.
So 2 weeks ago, we tried many times and it just didn't, it didn't happen. And, that's what happens with technology. Sometimes it
That
doesn't work.
happens.
And hello, Mafe. Hello, Diana. I'm so excited to be here today, and thank you, Rosario, for being so patient with me and for being available today. So a little bit about Rosario. Yeah, a little bit. It's very little because this woman has done so much, and I'm just like, how do you do all that? But let me introduce her. So, Rosetta is an award-winning Latinapreneur, TEDx speaker, OBO 100 innovator, Mujer Legendaria Ford founder, Institute highest ranked mentor Latam 2022. She's also the co-founder of BCPartners Tech, XR Americas, and Brooklyn to Bogota Digital Transformation Community. She's an award winning with more than 9 years of practical experience in data and technology platforms and over 25 years in executive roles. She has been a member of the advisory board of SXXW Pitch, Raleigh Price, Indiana, XR in Learning, the World Innovation Network, Twin Tech, Rutgers University, Big Data, and a member of the Chamber of Commerce of Bogota, Colombia, Tandem School of Engineering at NYU, and Mentor Makers of the NASDAQ Entrepreneurial Center. Like I mentioned, she's a TEDx speaker. She's an NAB show speaker, Legendary Women 2019 by Ford Motor Company, and 100 Innovators 2020 by OBO Movement. She's also the founder Institute highest ranked mentor Latam 2022, and she has been included in the books Hispanic Stars Rising, The New Face of Power by Claudia Romo Edelman, The Future Built by Women, Creating a Brighter Future Through Tech and Innovation by Brooke Markvicious, and Behind Her Vision, Women of New York City by Ashika Kalra and Jade Chen. And this is just a little bit, like I said, because this is just after her whole executive and corporate roles with tech. So thank you, Rosario, for being here today. It is an honor. Like I said before, I had her as a mentor and a coach, and she's amazing. So hi, Rosario.
Laura, thank you very much. No, it is my pleasure. Reality is that I am intense. That's the thing. And I have some obsessions like seeing entrepreneurs grow, seeing small businesses grow, seeing talented women building businesses and using technology to solve things. So that's basically how I do the thing. I only use my time for the things that I am committed with. So thank you, because I know you are the same style. And that's why. And no, it is a pleasure also and an honor to have you as a friend, as a person who participated in the first cohort of our incubator. That was challenging because it was a big bet and
It
a
was.
big risk on your end. So, no, thank you for having me here.
Yes, it was a big risk. It was, I know that from what you mentioned, you guys started early. Now, we started Brooklyn to Bogota. It's an incubator. And the goal is to kind of that gap, to be a bridge, right? Between that gap with the Latinopreneurs here in the US and around the world. It's kind of like a bridge to connect all of us. The challenge was that we did it during COVID. So
That was a big challenge. Everybody was in COVID. It was October 2020. just in the middle of the
2020.
thing.
Yeah, and we didn't know. So as we were planning and going, I remember like I did my business plan, and as I'm doing the business plan, I had to pivot because it's like, well, this is not, they told us we were gonna be home for a month, and then it was like a whole year. So for me, it was a great opportunity for me to meet other mentors. It was also Brooklyn to Bogota is in Spanish, so it was also um, a very great way to practice my Spanish.
By the way, I really think you plus Maria Madeiro from Brazil, the two
Uh-huh.
only ones who were not. She did it in Portuñol from
Yes,
Brazil,
yes,
and you. We also explained you at that moment. I remember telling you, "No, Laura, let's do it because your Spanish is." You are not using it daily, but you will start. I mean, you will take advantage of the program for sure, and the mentors and the network. And well, here we are.
yes. It's a great program for you to meet other mentors, to meet other people, to really take your project, your idea, even if you're growing, uh, to take it to the next level, or if you're just
You know there.
starting.
Yes, I also think that people with a business, with a real business
Yes,
operating,
over person.
can take more advantage of the program because it's like having 10 weeks for dedicated to growth, dedicated
Mhm.
to have people who is interested in caring about your business, in helping you grow your business. So I
It
really
is.
think is yes, that's
I think maybe what I want to do is have a whole other session just talking about the program because I do want to educate. I've been an entrepreneur for 10 years and I've taken advantage of a lot of different programs here in New Jersey, outside of New Jersey. This was through Bogota, but with technology, I was able to connect with them. So my goal is also to educate those of you that are watching because there's so many programs out there at no cost. I know that you
at no
guys, the
cost.
programs is sponsored by Ford, right? Ford
By Ford and
Latino.
BC Partners Tech, yes, both of
And
us.
yes, and B partners as well. So these are the things that you want to take advantage of. But today I want to talk to you as a woman in tech, and especially because that's an industry that there's not a lot of now there is, but it's a woman. It's an area where there's not a lot of women. How was that for you? How has that been, for you in that space?
Well, Laura, I should say that when I started in technology, it was 10 years ago. I was before that I was in finance, also a world that is not, I mean, it is a male's world more than female. And before that I was in the public sector in Colombia in the government. And
Mhm.
when I arrived into technology, I arrived because of the financial and management skills that I had. Uh, and I arrived into a company where we were just three women and all the others were males all over the world in Silicon Valley, Colombia, the Middle East, and Europe. And I was surprised that there were very few women, but also down the road, I realized that many times I was in tables where there were no other women, but also there were not other Latinas or
Yes,
people
that
with
was my
any
next
accent.
question.
So
Yes.
I was like, what's happening here? And I also realized that a lot of the young developers, because, well, I access this world because of the financial and management skills, but I decided to learn code and technology itself. And then I realized that there are a lot less women coding and building technology. You know, you have some
Mhm.
in the commercial areas, in the marketing areas, in the communication areas, but there are very few in the building technology side, let's say developers, data scientists, data analysts, data engineers. And and I also realized that sometimes it's because they don't have role models. We don't have
Yeah.
enough role models. And when you don't know how is to be an engineer, how is to be a developer, how is to be something, is very difficult to decide that you want to start in that world as a kid or as a teenager, let's say it that way.
Yes, it is very important. It's also uh, back in when when I was a high school teacher, I taught art, and I wanted to specifically teach in a school that was highly Latino because a lot when I was growing up, my art teacher, they were not Latinos, they were not minorities, they were they were Caucasian, they were so I never saw another Latina in that role. And so I started teaching, and I remember the first school I was in Passaic, it was little ones, and everyone's like, "Oh my God, mis ojos, usted habla español!" Like they were so amazed, right? And the same thing
Sure.
in high school. I was other than the Spanish teachers, I was the only arts teacher that spoke Spanish in a 50% Latino. It was like
Environment
50-50.
context.
So it's different. And I would tell them, hey, guess what? Ya no se pueden salir con lo suyo because your parents, I can understand them. But you
So
can't
I
lie
know
to
to
them.
tell them.
Um, so it was a good experience for me. And I love the part where you say that we need more role models, especially to be able to tell the story so that us or someone younger or a kid who's like, well, I can see myself in that person because she looks like me. Um, Was it a specific moment? Was it a something that happened that made you now? Because now you're in a role where you're inspiring Latinas in tech. Was there a specific moment in time or a specific situation that you were like, you know what? I need to be that person to inspire. And hey, I want to be that role model for all these girls that want to be in tech.
I think that there were many. There were many, and every time more and more I'm inspired to do that. But I think that all of those moments have something in common. First type of thing is when I saw founders in technology that are not building a good company in terms of being not just growing the company, but also being a good place for the work for the people to work, uh,
Mhm.
being a good company in terms of the impact in the environment.
Mhm.
Um, and I found that of course I can be one of those inspiring people to build companies that will be conscious of the environment, the community that they are building, the type of people they are engaging with. And of course, we all need to have the revenue because that's the purpose of a private business. But of course, we can also do good at the same time, and that was one of the things. Second is I realized that that happens even more in the technology world because
Mhm.
um, the award of raising money is something that sometimes is keeping the company just like building no matter what. No,
Yeah.
so that was one of the spaces. The second one is when talking with young developers, with younger developers, or with girls. I realized that they some of them never imagined the type of roles that you can be inside of a tech company, the type of
Mhm.
things that you can build with the current technology, the type of things that you can create as a product. So I decided to do that, and I also think that um, that's a very cool thing of technology. You can build things and you can see the results very quick in terms of building. Maybe not the revenue immediately, but the product itself. And the
Yeah.
third type of moment is when speaking, when being on a stage. I really think that I had a lot of younger women, younger Latinas, approaching me, telling me, hey, you have an accent. And I was like, yes, because I learned English as an adult. And but you are here presenting like, I mean, for example, NAB show has 1 million people audience virtually, plus the people who
Mhm.
is present in the play. So yes, you can have an accent,
You can have
but if
an-
you are smart and you know what you are talking about, or you are passionate about it, or whatever, that's enough for the world to hear you. And I think that's like the third type of reason why I wanted to, or those type
yeah.
of moments when I realized that I wanted to be that person.
You want it to be that role model, and you are, you
Yes,
know, and because
and thank
um having an accent, it's a superpower. I always say that, you know, because I have, you know, I came here when I was 9. I was raised here, but some words you'd see the
you.
accent,
Yes.
um, and you'll see it. You know, or some people are like, "Oh, you were born here," and I'm like, "No, I came here when I was 9." But I see it. And you know, if my students ever made fun of me, or if people made fun of me, or you know, sometimes I wake up in my Spanish brain and English just doesn't come out. I'm like, I'm sorry. My Spanish brain is just leading today. But I always tell people, you know, be proud of it because it gives you personality, right? If you have an accent, it makes you personality. And also, if I have an accent, is I'm smart, but guess what? I'm 2 times smart because I'm smart in
In
English
both languages.
and I'm smart in
I love
Spanish. So I'm being so two
sure.
times the smartness. Um, and I love that you're inspiring young people. Now I know that you're a co-founder of multiple companies. I'm in that. I'm starting to have that role, to have multiple things. A lot of women, their moms, their wives, they have so many roles, and you not only have those roles as well, but you're a co-founder of different companies, and you're a mentor in different things. So you're highly involved. And what was your biggest lesson about building so many different things, like all at the same time? With you know,
I think that the first time I started building a company, I was a solo founder, and fortunately, I'm not anymore a solo founder, and I was not anymore a solo founder from there, because my first realization is that it's always great when you have great partners. You know,
mhm,
having good business partners is like the best way to walk the thing.
yes,
Second, I think organizing the time very well is always a challenge. But when you want to build, you want to have an impact,
mhm,
uh, it's easier to have the time organized. And the third thing is I do everything related with the same. So bridging the gap in the use of technology to grow small businesses. So my mentoring is always around that. My businesses are always around that. Everything that I do is very much related. So it's not that complex. It's just knowing how much time can I allocate to everything, to each thing, and
mhm,
organize from there, organize the time, and my schedule is like super specific on what I will do when and how,
and
because
how.
that's the only way to do it. But if the purpose is behind and it has relation, I think that's not that complex. You know why? For example, I start the year or the semester. In some cases is the semester, and I say I will allocate 3 hours to this program, 2 hours to this whatever, and all the other is business. Of course, I need to sell and have revenue all the other time.
That's your
But
brand.
those volunteering times, um, I just allocate the time in a very specific manner, so it's not that complex.
It's time management. But I also like what you said, um, about being aligned with your mission and your purpose, because as small business owners, or somebody that it's a figure, a public figure, because you are that person. in tech, a Latina in tech, and you build that. Um, you have to be very careful of your time. And it's okay to say no, because I think a lot of women, we're afraid to say no. We're afraid if the opportunity comes, but it doesn't really align with our values or our purpose. We think about it, it's like, oh, but I'm saying no to this great opportunity. But like you said, if it doesn't align, if it's not with your purpose, it's okay to say no. Um,
Even if it is not the moment for something. Sometimes it's something aligned with your purpose, but it's not the moment for you to join, and that's perfectly fine. Or it's not the moment for you to take that much. And sometimes when you postpone something because you say no, I cannot do it right now because I'm like in a moment of my life with some complications, or I'm concentrated right now in this and this and this,
mhm.
and you postpone those things that are related, they come back later on the time. I really think that sometimes come back when you say no because it was not the correct moment.
Yes, it was not the right time. And you're right. And I'll say that because I feel when you're meant to do things, sometimes things come at you and that's not the
Yes,
moment. It doesn't feel right. If that thing or that opportunity is meant for you, it's going to come back.
it
And when
comes back.
it comes back. Maybe not next year or, la otra semana, but it's always gonna come back. Just know
Or
it.
not
And believe.
exactly the same way, but
Yes.
like a lot of years ago, I don't remember, 2003, 2003, like November, October, September, October 2003, I received an offer to work in technology. It was my first offer to work in technology, but I couldn't accept that at that time because I received another offer to work in the government at that moment, in a government that I admired very much in Colombia. So I accepted the government job. I worked there for 4 years. And some years later, I ended up in technology anyways,
Anyway,
but I
yeah.
arrived with more skills, with more knowledge, with a stronger me. So I think there are some roads that are like kind of open for you, and if you take them and leave them for the correct reason, they come back.
They come back. Yeah, as long as your goal is to as long as your end goal is clear, you're gonna get there. It's gonna take its
Yes.
turns and and roller coaster, but you're always gonna get there no matter what. Um, you described yourself as obsessed with preparing women more in tech, and now with your expertise. Um, where do you see the biggest opportunities for women to make their mark now in tech?
I think that um, I think that one of the opportunities in tech is, and I think it will always be, uh, create solutions to solve real problems.
Mhm.
Uh, Maybe right now you can design, you can build, and you can implement the company. Maybe some years from now you will create, ideate, and you will delegate to agents, AI agents, or something like that, but
Mhm.
it will be like the same, leading solutions, leading products that could solve things that are clearly a problem for the environment, for the community where you are, for your people. And I will give you an example. In education, if I find a problem in education that I know that exists and is very clear, using technology to scale that solution could be an amazing opportunity. It's not that you always need to think how I can build a super big unicorn company, but how I can use technology to solve what I'm building right now, what I am trying to solve right now. And I think there's the biggest opportunity. And I think that will not change in the long term. Maybe the way we do it will
Mhm.
change, but I think that that specific uh, scope on solving
Solving
will
problems.
always be there. Yes.
Yes, yes, you're right. And
And
it's
I also
all
think that when sorry for interrupting. I think that when you don't come from the technology world, you can see things that technology people is not seeing. You can see issues that need to be solved that technology people will not see, maybe. So if you are not a technology person, you can join forces with somebody who is a technology person to find a way to solve it. It's not that you need to be the one solving everything, leading everything, and doing everything, but finding the correct people to help you solve what you are trying to accomplish.
to accomplish. Yes, and like you said, if you are founding a business, finding that co-founder, that person that aligns with with your values and your purpose, and that has a different lens, right? He's good or she's good at something else, or sees something as a different perspective. Um, Now, I also see that as a Latina, that's also a different lens, right? Because we were raised a different way culturally, and Colombia is very different than the U.S. Many different, like in many ways, and
Yes.
bringing that knowledge, right, and kind of understanding that and sharing that to create solutions. I think that's also a beautiful way, not only for women in tech, but for a Latina, right, with an accent to
Yes,
come
with
and
an
make a
accent,
change.
with an accent.
Yeah.
Laura, I also think that for many years in Latin America, we have less resources than many other countries in the world. So in some way, we are very recursivos. We found
Yeah.
ways to
We're very creative.
we
Yeah.
solve things with less resources.
Yeah.
We are very good finding ideas on how to solve things with less resources. So I really think that
Yeah.
that could be a strength when you are building a company.
Yeah. When you're, because we don't have it. We don't have the next
Yeah.
best tool or the tech, like the gadget that does it all. We don't have it. So it's like, figure it
Yes.
out. Mira a ver
Yes.
how you do it, right? But you figure it out. I know it's only 30 minutes, and when we having great conversations, it goes by so fast. I just want to, those of you that have joined, thank you. Oncho, Alicia, Alarcón, Jose, uh, oh, I don't see everybody, but thank you for joining us today, for being in here. I'm going to share all her social media handles. I will bring her back to speak about uh, uh, Brooklyn to Bogota, but if you want to research, you can. Before uh, before we leave, um, how would you create your vision for a more inclusive tech future?
I think that everything starts with education, and with the bringing role models to the kids, because for kids it's very difficult to be in social media or whatever. It's not appropriate even. So being sure that if you know an entrepreneur and you can join that person, or you can bring that person to the schools, to the places where kids are learning, that could be a phenomenal way to reduce that gap. I think you need inspiration when you are a kid. You need to see that the world is built by people who is phenomenal and not just the news. Because media is always making noise,
Yes,
no matter what. So we lose like the perspective of how good is the moment that we are living in today's world compared with the past. So I really think that to make everything more really inclusive, you need to connect the people who is building, the people who is already doing things, with the kids who needs to be inspired.
yes. So we need more mentors. We need more role
Yes.
models. And that is
Completely.
true for tech specifically, but for just all different roles.
I think
And
for
I think
everything, yes.
and I think especially, yeah, and especially in tech and other, uh, because there's so many different career paths that you can take within one realm, right? You can be an artist, but you can be an artist many different ways. You can be in tech, but the way you're in tech, it's so
It
many
can
different
be.
ways. And if you have prior knowledge, your background is from something totally different, that's good. That's something great that you bring to the table that somebody else doesn't have, right? Just like the
That's true.
person who I've only been in tech. Well, hey, I did this other thing for 10 years or
So
15.
for career pivoting, uh, we will need to change careers a lot of times from now to the future. Why? Because the world is changing a lot, and we don't know if what we know today is what will be needed in 10 years, in 20 years, in 30 years. So, learning how to switch and learn new skills will be a mega skill.
It is.
So, my invitation will be, if you don't know about something but you think that it could be interesting, just start exploring. I started coding 10 years ago. I started in technology 10 years ago, coding like 8 years ago. Uh, so it's not impossible. It's a great opportunity to start exploring the new technologies and finding ways to connect that with what you already know.
Yeah, finding, okay, yes. And one last thing to that little girl or that young student that it's looking into tech and it's scared or doesn't know or is not sure, what do you say to that?
I be curious and start exploring. There are a lot of tools through all over the internet, and ask your parents to help you and guide you to find the tools. There are many, um, and never stop dreaming what can be possible and what you can build. And just start exploring the tools to do
Yes, and Rosario is a perfect example of all the many things you can do. And ladies and gentlemen, I said very little. I mentioned very little of what she has accomplished.
it.
So
No.
thank you, Rosario, for being here tonight. I love the accent. You know, my fellow Colombiana, I love it. You make me so
Appreciate
proud
it.
every day.
Thank
And from
you.
one creative to another creative, because this is a woman of ideas, I'm honored and so blessed that I was able to meet you and have you as a mentor. So
Same here, Laura. You
these
know how
are
much we love you.
these are the beautiful gifts that technology gives you, right? You're able to connect with somebody else. So thank you, Rosario. I will see you guys in 2 weeks again at 7 p.m. We have somebody legendary. So please join us. And again, gracias, Rosario. I will upload
Thank you.
and
Thank you.
tag all her platforms and her handles here. And I will see you guys in 2 weeks.
Ciao. Bye.
Adios. Oh, and I'll read you lo que me dijo, lo que mandó a decir mi suegra. Hermosas mujeres latinas dando consejos extraordinarios. Dios las bendiga. That's how we end
Increíbles.
tonight.
That's beautiful.
Okay. No, gracias, Rosario.
No, thank you.